What's up, guys? Anthony Dezette here with Explaining the Cloud. Super excited about this interview today. We have Aaron Ralls from California. He's going to talk to you about what he does to crush this real estate business and how much he loves eXp Realty. So stay tuned. Hey guys, what's up? This is Anthony Dezette with Explaining the Cloud, and today I got Aaron Ralls here from California. He's got some amazing things that he's doing in his business, and he's thinking, outside the box and working a couple of different, he owns a few businesses, to be frank, and I'll be doing him injustice if I explain what he does, man. So, hey, Aaron, man, how's it going?
Great. Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited. Been listening to your podcast. I've listened to every episode. And excited to be here. It's cool.
That's awesome, man. I know we connected briefly on Instagram. You came across the Explaining the Cloud thing, and I love, the ability to collaborate with people. And right here, man, we're inside the world. You're sitting inside of the my real estate teams. We call it the Explaining the Cloud virtual podcast studio. So you're the first one to do it in here. What you think?
It's funny. Like I mentioned earlier, I hadn't been up to these virtual suites yet for these meetings, and I was telling Anthony earlier I was lost, just like I was in a real building. I had to call him and say, "Hey, where are you at?" Walk me through how to get to the right spot. It was pretty neat. Nice. I don't think people fully understand the extent of what we have at our fingertips here. And
no, man, they really don't. And that's what doing this podcast inside of the world and recording it. And if all goes well, it's our first time doing it, guys, so bear with us. But if all goes well, this will be live on YouTube shortly. So, Aaron, man, tell us about your business. What do you do? How you do it?
Well, I've been a real estate agent. I just hit my 4-year mark. Prior to that, I own a pretty busy barbershop in the area that I live in, Folsom, California, called Lucky's Barbershop and Men's Club. And prior to that, I was in law enforcement for 11 years.
Oh, wow. Very nice. You keep busy.
Yeah, I stay pretty busy. The real estate business got to the point a couple years ago. My wife worked for the state of California for 21 years, and I talked her, and it took a while. It took about a year. I finally talked her into quitting her job with the state to help run the business, and ever since she has quit and came on board, the business has flourished. She's a big asset. She's bilingual, so that helps, and it's just been great. We're every year, aiming for icon agent and above. So
I see fun. That, man. I just had a conversation with one of my agents on the Homes and City team, Mark St. Germain. His wife's a lender, and obviously they're a lender. I don't want to get too off topic, but it's great you brought that up. She's a lender, and I even asked and said, why is she a lender? And they were like, oh, because you can get the business. I'm like, man, look, if you sit here and we show her the way this business can grow, if both of you guys were in eXp crushing it together, so it's an amazing opportunity with that for sure. But dude, tell us about your business, man.
Which one?
Real estate.
Real estate. So real estate, I have a small team out here in my area. My team splits are different from a lot of different splits that are out there. I have kind of a tiered structure because I found, while studying real estate, I read a lot of books and listen to a lot of podcasts. And one thing I noticed with a lot of teams is, they'll have a team split on a 50-50 split or something along those lines. And, I've known agents that were on teams and they pretty much learn how to do the business and then jump ship. So my team structure is a little different. I have a 50-50 split for the first 3 deals. And then I'll take 40% in the next 3, 30% in the next 3, then it caps at 20% for the remainder of our team agreement. Because I don't want to take the time to teach and build these agents up and learn the business, and then they jump ship and they do it on their own. So try to incentivize it that way.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I'll tell you, and that's one thing kind of cool I've realized here, because I've been building teams for about 15 years. I was at, Keller Williams, 13 of those 15. And the fact is, I've seen it. Back then on my team, I had a 50-50 split, and I didn't keep a soul. I really didn't. 13 years plus, everybody left. And the interesting part, man, a lot of those people left, Keller Williams, which I found always interesting, because it's a great company. It offers a lot. I can tell you, man, eXp has changed that drastically for me. I actually have my team on a 75-25 split across the board, flat, perpetual. And
Yeah,
I
that's
encourage them to leave now. Like, I really do. And it's a little different. They look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, guys, if you're on this team for more than a year, I didn't do my job.
Yeah, I have the same talk with my team. If they're getting to a point where they're producing enough, because the the splits with eXp when you're on a team are good. You pay 8,000 to them. But
Yep.
I say if you're getting anywhere near a decent amount of production, certainly if you're doing enough business where you can be an icon agent or anything like that, you do not need to be on a team.
No.
you
and the
still
cool
be
part
with
is,
eXp.
right. That's the part, man. Being with eXp still and continuing that growth together, the residual income model. I know we didn't talk much about that, and we're sure we'll get into it, but it allows for them to continue going. And I'll tell you, the interesting part for me, man, my retention rate is through the roof. I could tell you at Keller with my teams, and this is even trying really hard as a great leader. I feel like I was a great leader, at least. Let's say that. But the fact is, it was 50-50 at best that someone would stay and then stay at Keller Williams. Now, man, I'm probably 90% where people have come onto the team, learned a good bit. I had one gentleman, Trey Pellegrin, he left. I was 3 years ago and I got into eXp. He was one of the first people I brought over, and he left. And he was like, man, I just wasn't ready. He's back now. He came back a month ago, and so that's an interesting piece too. But think about that, man. Look, you've been here for a good little bit too. How much has this company changed over the last 2 years?
Well, okay, so I've been with eXp going on 2 years.
Right.
And for a year prior to me actually switching the brokerage that I was with to switch, the person that brought me in was named Justin Padilla, and I actually went to high school with Justin. And the brokerage I was with before, I would prepay my commission split at the beginning of the year because
Gotcha.
that motivated me. So, I cut my broker a check, and then I was off to the race.
You had some skin in the game, for sure.
Yeah. So, that was I don't know many people, prepaying their commission for the year, but that's something that motivated me and made me get up and grind every day. Justin Padilla, for at least a year, maybe over a year, would tell me about eXp. And this was when eXp, stocks were only $3 a share. We weren't a publicly traded company. Yep. And I really pride myself on recognizing and acting on opportunities when they present themselves. But I was so stuck with the mindset of, I told him, hey, man, I already prepaid my cap. I'm not going anywhere. I've still got 8 months left. I never watched any of the videos. I just kind of shined them on all the time. And thank God Justin had the persistence to continuously call me. My wife and I met in high school, so she knows Justin as well. And he happened to call me one day when my wife was in the car, and her name's Laura. And he said, I'm talking to him on Bluetooth, and he said, Laura, just promise me you're going to watch this video that I'm going to send over. And she promised him. So later that night, it's 10 o'clock at night. She's getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, wait. What are you doing? She's like, I'm going to bed. I said, oh, no, we promised we're going to watch this video. So, 10 o'clock at night, I've got a big flat screen in my room. I'm watching Brent Gove's big old head, explaining to me what eXp is.
How can you not get excited when he's speaking, right?
Oh my gosh. That guy could sell ice to an Eskimo. He's the best.
I turned it on for a group of my guys one time, and they didn't know what I was doing. They thought it was a comedian coming on stage with him.
Yeah. he is a natural. So, I watched this, and I couldn't go to sleep till 1 a.m. I was so excited, and I realized the opportunity that I had missed for the last year.
Yep.
And I had a meeting with my team that week, and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking at doing. I want you guys to all watch this. I want you to do your research. I want you to Google positives and negatives about the company. We're going to meet up in another week or so and make a decision here on whether or not, we move to eXp.
Right.
Do you know not one person on my team could find a reason for us not to leave?
Man, it's a reason for to go. And that's what I'll tell you, man. A lot of people, I have a gentleman I'm talking to in Houston, Texas right now, Charlie, and he said, Anthony, he goes, I'm cautiously excited, but I'm skeptical. He goes, because man, I cannot find anything negative. And I was like, well, talk to me. I said, and I think, and granted, if you listen to specific people and things, there's a negative element in everything. There's no doubt about that. And I think people, need to understand that. But if you come with a true open mindset to this company and see what is the opportunity in front of you, it's hard. And I can tell you, man, my one thing that I would tell people, they said, Anthony, I'm having a hard time finding something negative, and I can't believe this. I said, You know what's the negative thing for me? It was, and it's just got fixed recently because this room we're in, was I felt like I was a little bit detached from my team. Like I would have to get on a phone call and have a conversation and then try to run them around on text messages. Man, I've implemented 3 things on a high level with this team in the last 2 weeks since I've had this team room. Workplace chat, and this team suite. Yeah. And I can tell you what, man, my team right now is sitting back going, holy shit. What is going on here? We sit just like we're in this room. We have team meetings in here. We have conversations. I'm pulling in people like we spoke before earlier into the team suite to teach classes. And like and that's apartment. I'm more excited than I was, a month ago. And
like I told you earlier, my wife is, she gives me a hard time because I'm just all in with eXp and my social media and everything. And, I truly believe in it. And I realized after I joined, and I was just talking to my buddy, Justin Padilla, that brought me in earlier today. And I realize now that the reason he stayed on me so much and was so persistent is because he wanted what's best for my family. Correct. And that is no joke. I mean, you hear that a lot through eXp, but this is an absolute game changer for not only business, but your life. eXp has dang near paid my mortgage every month just for my revenue share.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, it's the level of freedom. It's just another stream of revenue. I had brought at my last brokerage, I had brought approximately 12 people into the brokerage. So these are 12 people that just, because I own the barbershop and other agents, whatnot, come in there and ask me like, oh, I'm down here, check it out. Oh, do you like it? Yeah, it's cool, man. Come by. We're having a meeting this week or whatever. Do you know my broker never one time even said thank you?
Wow.
Legitimately has never even said thank you for the amount of people I brought in. eXp not only says thank you, but they give you money every month for it. I mean, it is it's the craziest thing. I don't understand how, unless someone is just drinking the Kool-Aid that the brokerage they're currently in is providing, I don't know how anyone with any type of business sense could not look at what eXp has to offer.
You said it, Aaron. You said it. It's the look piece, man. I can tell you that's the struggling piece. If people look at this and then tell me, oh, no, this is bullshit, then I know they didn't look at it. Like I say, man, it doesn't work for everybody, but I can tell you one thing I've heard consistently, and you verified again. I just had David Upchurch. He's from North Carolina in the team room. He was looking at everything the other day, and he said, man, I wish, a buddy of ours, Darren James, he's a real estate agent in Denham Springs, big team and everything. He goes, I wish Darren would have really sat me down and said, no, David, shut up, sit down and listen. Because 2 years later, I believe it was, David joined. And he, just like you said, wow. I mean, if I'd have same thing with me, man. I was a Keller for a long time. Good friend of mine, Sherry Elliott, out of Dallas, Texas, went to the company. I've seen her do it. I'm watching, back then they were posting all the revenue share dollar amounts, which was blowing my mind. I finally called her. It was a year and a half later. I mean, man, we can't, you can't focus on what you didn't do initially, but I'll tell you, you're right, man. If you are listening to this podcast or you're talking to Aaron, myself, or whoever, and that person's kind of driving you crazy, it's not because we're like saying, hey, we just want to drive you crazy. I mean, we're excited in this. I know, same for me. It's changed who I am and what I do.
Yeah. I believe in the company so much. And when I talk to people, we've got a good friend of ours that's with another big brokerage that's local. And I've talked to her about it before. And, I go so far as to say now, look, I'm not just saying this because, they all understand that there's a revenue piece attached to it now. So I think it makes it come across as disingenuous sometimes.
I agree.
Yes. And now I'm saying, look, even if you don't join with me, just join. Go sign up with anybody. Right. Look, you know what I mean? Because I value you as a person. I want you to join, period. I don't care if it's with me or not.
Yep. People don't realize this. Like they think we're so, I do hear this, like, oh, you guys just recruit. It's not the case at all with me. I attract people and I try to get people to understand that. But I do, what I found out the other day, Aaron, which is interesting, that if someone is that passionate and believes that, oh, this person's just trying to recruit me, you can actually sign up for this company with no name sponsor at all. Like you do not have to name a sponsor. And like you said, man, that's the great part that I love is the cohesive camaraderie of this company, because regardless if you come in my down, like you and I, we are not in the same downline. We do not benefit from each other, but we do benefit from each other by doing stuff like we're doing right now, because the more exposure this company gets, the bigger we grow. And look, we're all shareholders.
Yeah. Yeah. And people don't understand that either.
At all.
I'm coming up on less than 2 years. I'm sitting on 50 grand worth of stock already.
Right.
That's 50 grand worth of stock I wouldn't have had where I was at before.
Right.
So imagine what that's going to look like 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just that. I mean, Keith Bliss in North Carolina, another buddy of mine. I think he posted on Facebook the other day. He's 3 years, 185,000 in stock.
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean,
that's crazy. And when I hit Icon again, they're going to give me another 16 grand worth of stock.
Exactly.
In just a couple months.
Well, that's a good man. Talk about Icon. I did in the podcast. You probably heard. I talked about Icon a little bit, but man, tell us a little more. Everybody sees you got your Icon badge on. Tell us what that's all about.
Yeah, it's funny because sharing your screen. It's the first time I've got to see that.
That's funny.
Pretty funny. The Icon is you do a certain level of production, and then which you cap with the $16,000 cap with the company, and then I think it's approximately 20 deals beyond the cap, and you become an Icon agent, and eXp rewards you by giving you $12,000 worth of shares immediately. And then I believe it's another 2,000 for each event you attend. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I went to eXpCon, boom, I got $2,000 worth of stocks just for going to eXpCon. And the stocks at the time, I want to say were not too long ago, were around $9. And I think right now we're at over 11 a share.
Yeah, it actually did. We just jumped up a good bit, man. I know we had that $20 spike, and then it's leveraging out. And the thing is, like, it's just money set aside for me. I don't know how you treat it, but I haven't touched it. Right.
I believe the company's going onward and upward, man, and I'm just sitting on it, and that's going to be Cabo money when I retire.
Right. Absolutely. It's funny, dude. I'm doing Belize money when I retire because I've already had, I've already been in conversation, met with agents out there, talked to actually eXp briefly, say, hey, what does it take for me to go start selling real estate in Belize? And that's another amazing opportunity, man. Our global expansion. We just went into the UK and Australia. So it's going to be crazy to see where this company is at.
It is the fastest growing brokerage in the history of the United States.
Ever.
How are people not waking up to what's going on here?
They really are. The cool part about it, man, is that, I know we keep saying that people, but dude, they are waking up because we're the fastest growing ever in the United States. So it's just, I could tell you, man, I'm kind of glad that everybody's not coming over because, man, it's given us that are here an opportunity to really learn this company, really embrace it, really grow. Because realistically, Glenn said, I think I can't remember the last interview he was in, but he said, man, he goes, I see 100,000 within the next year.
For sure. For sure.
And at that point, dude, it's going to be interesting to see how it grows and how it continues. But still to this day, man, at 20, we just hit 25,000 agents, I think yesterday. We can go out this room right now. We're sitting and we can go hop into, anywhere, tech support, accounting, and get in touch with somebody. I mean, be face-to-face with somebody to help you with these issues within, honestly, I think it's 30 seconds or less.
Within 30 seconds, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, where else in the world are we going to get that kind of support in any industry? One of my guys here, Mark St. Germain, he was a Edward Jones financial advisor. He's got an office right behind you inside my team suite right now. And I said, man, Mark, tell me, you've been here now for a couple of weeks. I said, what if Edward Jones had something like this in place, this virtual environment way? He goes, man, that would be an absolute game changer. He goes, I'm sitting back going, why doesn't every industry have something like this to support their people?
It's just a matter of time. They will.
They will. Stanford just got Virbela. Stanford University now, this eXp world, guys, the same thing you're seeing on our YouTube channel right now, same thing that Aaron and I are talking on. You can now go to Stanford like this. Go to classes online, distance learning, higher education, everything, using the same exact platform eXp owns Virbela.
Yeah, and why not? And we're keeping cars off the road. We're more efficient. It's great.
It is great, no doubt. Well, man, tell us what else. I know we keep. I know in the pre-interview, man, we talked about containing our excitement with this company, but I'm pretty much throwing everything out the window at this point because I don't think we can anymore. And so, people are going to say what they want to say, but this company is creating such excitement.
One thing I'll say early on when I was looking at joining, I did a decent amount of volume prior to joining eXp, and Justin Padilla, he set up a meeting with Brent Gove when, Brent Gove was crushing it. He's crushing it before eXp.
I think crushing it is an understatement with him.
Yeah, he's a big heavy hitter. And Brent Gove is in Justin's upline, so to speak. And he arranged for Brent Gove to meet me for coffee. Brent Gove drove to my town, down the street from my house, had coffee with me for an hour because I was still, skeptical. I wasn't just jumping all in. And he did a good job of explaining. He was patient. And since then, I can text Brent. I call him. We meet up. He's a great guy, very genuine, just a good, in my opinion, a good Christian person. That even if eXp didn't have this revenue share to attract and build on, Brent Gove is the type of person that would still be helping, still be out there doing it because he's just a genuine good person. And I think that is a large part of the culture within the company in general.
Absolutely, man. And that the support piece is that I tell people when I'm speaking to them about eXp, there's two things that we really prosper at. And it's actually two things that when people are talking not so favorable about eXp, they use against us, which is crazy. It's support and education.
Yeah.
I mean, the support is unreal. Like I said, even like Brent being out there somewhere else, and the fact is the way he helps you and grow your business. I could tell you, man, in years of real estate, it was rare that I had people helping me that like that. I mean, really rare. I had to get into these mastermind groups and spend a ton of money before to do all that. But between that and the education, within minutes, it's absolutely crazy what's in front of us. I mean, every single day inside of this world, you have anywhere from 10 to 15 classes.
Yeah.
Broad spectrum of stuff.
Well, and what I like about it is because we're all agent owners now, it's not like being in some of these other offices where you kind of hold everything close to your chest because
so true.
They're all competitors. eXp is so different now that it's just a giving and sharing. It's different. I mean, it is way different. I don't even know how to accurately describe it to where people can understand what I'm talking about, but it's different. Like I am plugged into Brent Gove's resources. And when I say resources, I mean all and everything. Tom Daves recently joined eXp, who I've only met Tom a couple times. He's doing a ton of deals. I think he was one of the top guys with KW back in the day. I could go to Tom Daves' office today, I guarantee it, and get a front seat view on anything and everything they're doing.
Yep, it's amazing, man.
Yeah, show me where that type of thing happens.
No, you don't, especially in when speaking. Like I think you had mentioned previously too, is that smaller brokerages need to really see the opportunity in front of them, and I see that time and time again. I'm meeting with, so right now I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, with the intention of expanding my team into like Dallas, Texas, Plano, and all those areas. So I came up northern Louisiana for a little bit, and I meet with a lot of small, we'll call them for the sake of description, mom and pop operation brokers. Yeah. When I'm sitting down in front of them, and they're looking at me like I'm crazy because of things I'm telling them, and I say, guys, what do you do that even compares to this? And they nothing. I mean, nothing. And everything when I speak to a broker, they say, I do. And then I change the conversation with them to we do, and they do, man. And I hope if anybody owns a small brokerage, listen to this, because the things we're offering to this company, and look, if you don't think your agents have talked to an eXp agent, they have. I can tell you right now, somebody is talking to them. And look, if you join forces with us, I just had Gene Frederick come on, and we're talking to a brokerage with a small agent count, 100, which is not small but decent, and Gene's like, man, look, we can take it from 100 to 1,000 just by implementing these small things, just leverage these pieces to help you grow. It truly enables a broker to sit back and do what their job is, which is attracting more agents to their company.
Yeah, and they don't even have to change their name; they just add "brokered by eXp Realty."
That's it. Right.
So the name and brand you've built so hard to build up, you're able to keep it. You just put brokered by eXp, and the CRMs, the marketing material, all the stuff you're nickel and diming paying for now, you damn near pay for itself with a low cap of $16,000. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Man, so you're in the Homes and City team suite right now, and with that said, is that I don't spend $1. I mean, I really don't spend much on money on this. This team room is like $100 a month. I allow all my agents to have their own websites. I looked at another website just recently, Chime it was called, and I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger on it due to the expense. Well, the fact is, all I do is I do a subdomain redirect, and I put Danielle.HomesandCity to their website.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, I recently listened to a podcast where they were going over the stats affiliated with websites and these high-end big money websites. And believe me, I had one. I was spending $800 a month at one point.
Yep.
And the amount of conversion from a website is right around 1%.
Oh, dude, it's horrible. I'll tell you, 2010,
Save your money.
12, and 13 were the years that I sold the most amount of real estate. When I was full in sales, I had 3 real estate agents, myself and 2 other guys that sold with me. We didn't have a website at all.
Yeah.
Our GCI was over $1 million those 4 years in a row.
Damn. Yeah. See,
dude, no website. And people look at me like, I remember I was in this was back when I was at Kellen. I went to a mastermind session, I believe in maybe Austin, Texas. And they asked, what have you done differently this year to increase your volume? And so I stood up, I said, turned off my website. Man, they looked at me like I just cursed them all out.
Yeah.
They turned around like, and I was like, no, we did. I did not have a website at all. And they say, "Mean you didn't work with buyers?" No, I worked with buyers. I would get the sign call. I would put them into the MLS. And I'll tell you, man, the very hands-on approach that I took that year. When I saw a property, because if you're a listing agent, if you're a heavy listing agent, you need to know one thing, the real estate market.
Yep.
You need to know the competition that's coming and hitting the market every day. You need to know the competition that's coming off the market every day by selling. So if you're doing your job multiple hours a day, you do not need an automated website to send that person a property. Because what happens is they get 5, 10, 20, 30 emails a week from you with all these crazy ass properties that probably does not match the description. Whereas, dude, I tell you, I'd send them 5 properties and one of those 5 would be like, hey, this is it. You need to come see this right now. I have as a time book for 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
And guess what happened, man? They went. That's a big missing piece, man. And I it's something I'm just thinking inside of my own head right now. But that's such a huge piece of this business. KV Core is great. I love the website we have. But I can tell you, man, it's not the way to crush business. It's really not.
Yeah, well, there's so many other things that are out there. It's unbelievable. I'm still a big believer in open houses too. Any new agent, I'm like, you got to get an open house.
I built my business. I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana after Katrina. I knew not one soul when I went there. Born and raised New Orleans, and when I went there, I just did open houses for a year straight. Every Sunday.
That's a key. My partner David Graves with R&R Loans, he's here with me now too. Him and I had our biggest month ever, and it was a direct result of open houses. Made $100,000 in 1 month. Since then, I've broke that record, but open houses are the absolute key.
That's it. Well, man, you got David here. I want you to introduce him. I know he didn't have time to set up and get to the virtual world and be sitting across from us. So the next time we do another interview, we'll get him in. But introduce David.
Was my fault. I didn't think that far ahead. So I'll introduce David Graves with R&R Loans. I'll make sure he gives you an idea of the amount of volume he's doing also. And when I told him I was coming on here, he just wanted to drop his 2 cents because he sees eXp from a transactional side.
Nice.
As a lender. And he's also a big believer in the stock plan as well as, dare I say, an investor.
Right.
Because he's seen where the company's going, and he's a pretty sharp guy that studies a lot and reads a lot. So here's David Graves.
Hey, Anthony, it's great to be here, man.
Hey,
thanks for having me. Like Aaron said, I am a huge eXp fan. I see what we have going on in our local market, and I've been around the country. I see eXp going off into other parts of the country as well. But like Aaron was saying, I see eXp from a lender's perspective, working with not only Aaron's team, but other eXp agents in the area. The level of documentation that eXp requires for you guys to get the deal closed, I think is extremely prudent. And it's a very good business model where, you have to have all these files in before you actually get paid. And I like eXp's level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Due diligence in all of their transactions. I think that's stellar. And so
it is huge, man. I can tell you. And when I came to eXp, I was not I had a big real estate team with some great admins, and I kind of left that situation. Life happened, and I came to eXp as a loan agent. And the first week I uploaded my documents in the Sky. So my broker, I jokingly tell people all the time, it was like I was in kindergarten and they scratched it out in red checks and X's. And I'm looking like, what the hell did I do? Man, you're right. People don't realize how important it is to have your paperwork right. And I can tell you, man, in 13 and a half years with a previous broker, Not once did they kick back paperwork of mine that said it was done incorrectly. Not once. Yeah. My first 20 transactions, I was like, okay, Kathy, you're killing me here. What am I doing so wrong? She's like, Anthony, goes, you don't know how to write a contract. She goes, have you ever been sued? I said, well, I had a situation one time, but it wasn't because of the contract. And she's like, well, we're going to make sure you get it right now. So that's amazing that you recognize that. And again, people don't see that piece, man. They don't think about that. They don't even know that transaction piece is here, where these guys it's your checks and balances to make sure you're running efficiently.
Absolutely. And to be in the trenches with you guys as agents and seeing what eXp requires you guys to put in your files, I think is just a stellar way to do business. And so I'm a big eXp fan for that reason alone. Not even counting all the, Verbella, this program here, I'm in it here with Aaron. I know I don't have my little avatar in there, but
right.
It's beautiful. And the way you guys can all help each other and get the training, and this very well could be a game changer for the industry. It already has been changing the game. So
right.
Yeah, man, this is really cool to see. It's really cool to get kind of a front seat to it, seeing Aaron and his team do their thing. But that's hey, awesome. Man, I'm a big eXp fan over here.
Well, with that said, man, so you obviously, you talk to people, I'm sure, about it. Someone listening to the podcast that's kind of on the fence. I mean, what would your advice you'd give them?
I don't know what they're waiting for. I see, I see the traditional real estate brokerage model, and I'm seeing it in other industries as well. But the whole work remote, no brick and mortar thing, that's gonna be the wave of the future. And right. So there's so much to eXp's comp plan. I'm not an expert to it, but the revenue share and the different things, it's head and shoulders above the other brokerages out there. And to continue to do business the way they are is not sustainable.
Right. I think over the course of time, man, so I was listening to I can't think of the podcast, but they were talking about the next recession, the next downturn in the market. And it wasn't related to real estate. It was related to, the economy in general. And guys, I think we're right now, I know California, you guys are different to where we were in New Orleans. We never saw a recession due to, I think, natural disasters, if that's safe to say. Katrina, the big BP oil spill, those type of things, man, kept money pumped into New Orleans forever. But I was reading something recently where we're 9 years into an upswing, and yeah. I've been doing real estate for almost 16 years going now, and it's usually in 3 to 5 year cycles. And they believe that when this next one hits, it's going to hit hard. And yeah. When I was selling real estate after Katrina in Baton Rouge, they were not in a very upturned cycle. It was very slow. We had I think the agent count back then was like 3,000. It's now like 7,000. But this is the type of advantage that, one, being an agent who's informed and always constantly learning is huge. And if you're making phone calls, you're going to survive. Right here, again, I can't remember if we said it early in the podcast, so it was our pre-interview, Aaron. My operating expense for this team is nothing. I mean nothing.
Other than when we go out for wine, that usually costs quite a bit.
Right? Look, I'm bouncing all over the country. I don't even, if I could drink wine in this world, my team now, I'm going to do that. Because,
the last brokerage I was at, my broker's overhead was $9,000 a month.
Man, I had a team with Keller Williams. It was $15,000 a month. I had my office in downtown New Orleans. I was paying for Commissions Inc. It was $12,000, $15,000. I got people I talk to, buddies of mine, to $20,000, $30,000 a month.
You know what I have honestly thought about, and other than just rolling around looking like a prick for doing it, it's what keeps me from doing it. With my revenue share alone, I've thought about leasing a Lambo and having it vinyl wrapped. Right. eXp.
No, because so have you ever been in New Orleans?
The visual of that would get everyone talking.
Right. You ever been in New Orleans, Louisiana? You ever been in New Orleans? No. Okay, so we have streetcars. And these streetcars travel down St. Charles Avenue, which is the most prominent street in all the city. I mean, it's anywhere, the average home is 6, 7, 8, 10 million. Okay. And I was telling agents, when I reach a certain threshold of that $30,000 to $50,000 a month consistently, which look, we're on target. It's happening.
It's right around the corner for you.
I'm going to wrap a streetcar. I don't think you can even do it. Okay. Because I've never seen one. I've seen like signage on it, but I'm going to go to the city of New Orleans and be like, I want this wrap. How much does it cost? Because right there, man, it's so you nailed it. when we're already yelling from the megaphones right now, telling about this company. If you do something crazy off the wall, like a Lamborghini, you can't even have a Lamborghini in New Orleans because the streets, it'll die, it'll break, but the street car. Another thing, jokingly, man, I told somebody the other day, I said, man, I wonder if I just got a Mardi Gras float.
Yeah.
I made an eXp Mardi Gras float.
Well, you know what David and I do out here, and it'd be a good thing for you to think about, is we do a commercial at our local movie theater, and it's a really high-end, nice center.
I did that before, man.
Commercial. That put us on the map.
I did that before when I was in New Orleans. I did that with it. My big thing now is that I'm so in multiple cities, but I tell you, man, I can't think of his name. He's a big Keller Williams guy based out of Maryland. That's how he grew his business. Yeah, he essentially in the movie theaters did every movie theater in a general area. He ran the ads, and I can tell you, I did it in New Orleans for about a month. In New Orleans, when I was selling real estate at a high level, those 4 years I told you about, I did billboards, I did radio, and I did movie theaters. Yeah. Those three things alone, man. And people were like, "Oh man, billboards are dead, radio's dead, and why are you spending money on these movie theaters?" Again, that's when my operating budget was expensive, because that's not cheap stuff at all.
Yeah, we had a billboard as well, a big digital billboard along our major freeway here. Man,
we did, and this is probably going on 8-9 years. We had 20 billboards in and around the city of New Orleans, and it was pretty cool because I called and negotiated with them. And guys, if you're listening, try this. So I had between 50 and 20 billboards a month, and I went to them and I said, "I see billboards that are empty. What kind of deal could you give me?" And so they gave me a deal. I think it was $3,000 a month. I had 20 billboards, and every month it would rotate when one was empty. That was the best deal I could even think of ever, man, because one billboard sometimes was
two. So you were just their space filler in between?
Space filler, yeah.
Oh,
and look,
genius.
They printed out a new one every month. Say, "Hey, Anthony, make sure you give us our print, because we got to print out a new one every time. And we're just going to fill in all the blanks." Dude, it was unreal. For $3,000, I mean, people were coming up to us because I had my team on there, and they were like, "Who are you guys? What are y'all doing?" It was amazing, the level of outreach. And back to, I tell people all the time, man, billboards are not going to get you direct response. Like, someone's not going to call and say, "Hey, Aaron, I want to buy that house right there." But man, the branding, that's
what it does. That's what we found. It adds legitimacy to the business, because it looks like you're successful in producing, and you just get known everywhere.
Right.
Dave and I are always getting stopped, like, "Dude, we saw you on the billboard." Yep. "Oh man, hey, you guys have a commercial,
Yep.
And it looks like success. It does, and
it works, no doubt.
It's worth doing.
Well, man, I know we've been talking a good bit. It's been an amazing conversation. And so what's some things, before we wrap up, what's something else you want to tell? I know we kind of beaten everybody's skull how great we are. What else could you maybe tell some people?
Well, I would say to build your business and grow your business, definitely read as many books as possible. Mm-hmm. Dave and I both, we share books. We're constantly just crushing Audible books.
What are y'all reading right now?
Right now I'm reading Be the Hammer, Not the Nail.
Dude, somebody told me that one the other day. I didn't do that.
Yeah, Be the Hammer, Not the Nail. But I'm looking at my bookcase right now. I've got Building an Empire.
Right.
I've got Harris Rules by Tim and Julie Harris.
Yep.
I've got a book called How to Back Up a Trailer, which is like a book that every man should know,
I'll tell you that Building an Empire one, man. Mr. Carruthers, I know him well. I got into a little side business with him for a while, and he was pretty much coaching me one-on-one. That book is amazing.
Really? See, I haven't started that yet.
Man.
I get in a bad habit of starting 2 or 3 at a time. So
and that's what listening to, I don't know if you listen to, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've been on a podcast tear, but MF CEO, you ever heard of that one? Andy Frisella?
Gosh, Andy Frisella. I listen to every one of them. I almost joined the Arate Syndicate.
Dude, me too, but that's a lot of money. I was like, look, Andy, I mean, dude, life changing. It's amazing too, man, because I've actually got to, I say briefly, like, he's a wildly famous guy, but he actually started liking a bunch of pictures on my personal Instagram, like, holy shit. Like, dude, that podcast, he talked about quit doing that, starting 2 books, don't finish it. I'm like, man, is this guy talking to me? Because he goes, I was just listening to the 75 Hard again. I did 75 Hard challenge. I was telling you the physical transformation. I just started again 3 days ago. But he goes, most of you, and he used the MF, motherfuckers, read books and stop with the last 3 chapters. That's where all the good shit's at. I'm like, oh man, he's so right. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I get to another book. So man, I've been laser focused on finishing Audible. Like you said, man, I crush Audible. I just listened to Extreme Leadership by Jocko.
Jocko Willing. Yeah, I got the book too. And
unreal. I've never listened to it in full, which is kind of crazy. I just never have, And so I've been doing that, listening to his podcast. And man, right.
I really every day try to study the mental mindset aspect of it, and a lot of Navy SEAL stuff, a lot of stuff like that. Even though it's not business related, that's very important.
No, you got to step outside of that business mind all the time, man. Like David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. Have you read that one? Right.
Yeah.
So right. I mean, dude, callous in the mind. I mean, one thing I preach to my team right now: mindset. I can motivate you for about a minute. If your mindset's shot, game over.
Yeah, 100%. That's where it all falls in. Every day I try to get better mentally, physically, and spiritually.
That's it, man. That's amazing.
I feel like the more I do that, the more the business grows. Family life is good for the most part,
Right.
My wife's in the room right now. When I was talking about the Lambo, she wrote on my dry erase board I have in my office, "No Lambo," with a serious face underneath it.
Look, you can't say no Lambo. You got to say no Lambo till.
Yeah.
Hey, like, look, you
get that.
Yeah.
Don't say I can't afford it. How can I afford it?
Yes, right.
I like that.
That's exactly it. No Lambo till. You can't, like, I'm the same way, man. I bought years ago. I went and bought my dream car. I bought a Porsche Panamera Turbo S, all that fun stuff. Paid a stupid amount of money for it, like in 2013. And I always said, I will never do that again. That was dumb. I bought it brand new. I like cars. I mean, especially if you listen to Andy Frisella, watches YouTube. I mean, dude, the cars the guy's got, it's crazy. And dude, at some point, I mean, I was making great money in 12, 13, 14, but not enough great money to go buy a $135,000 car.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at, man. If we can build our businesses to a certain level, like we need, as a human, we need to spoil ourselves. And I just think a lot of people need to put that spoil in check until you get to a certain level or a certain point in life. Because, I mean, dude, I bought a $135,000 car. I was living in a $400,000 house in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was probably making upwards of $600,000 a year. But dude, when you live in a $300,000-$400,000 house, I mean, it's just my opinion, and I could be wrong. I shouldn't be buying $100,000 car at that point.
Yeah.
So
we just recently we had a brand new Audi S5, and I actually at eXpCon I read Dave Ramsey's book.
Yep.
And came home, and Dave Ramsey's a money guy,
big time
money management, and he came home, and my wife, I said, you know what, let's sell this thing. Right. We sold that Audi. We took a loss, paid cash for a brand new Honda Accord, and we're completely debt free with the exception of what we owe on the house now. And a large part of that is because of the revenue share we have and everything else. We're literally getting out of debt.
Aaron,
we have no more debt.
I don't even own a car anymore. I got rid of all my cars. I Uber and Lyft everywhere.
Really?
Yep. I got rid of my car about 6 months ago.
Wow. Yeah, here, we need our cars still.
Well, I don't show houses and all that, but I'm saying that is sometimes the extreme. But the fact is, I was like, why do I even have this car? I don't really go anywhere. I got Whole Foods delivers food to my house. Amazon, I can buy whatever I want. I work remotely from this desktop. I don't show houses. I don't spend $1,100, $1,200 a month on a car. Dude, I spend now maybe $400 a month on Uber or Lyft.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's crazy, So, well, good, hey, man. Look, you nailed it. Books, reading, learning, sharpening the saw. That's always. And yeah, I want to thank y'all for coming. So let's, Aaron and Dave, before we cut out, give everybody, how can they reach you guys?
I'm on Instagram as Aaron Ralls Realtor. That's AARONRALLS. Aaron Ralls Realtor. My other one is Lucky's Barbershop Folsom, and that's my Instagram. That's good. My Facebook is maxed out already.
Mine too. I know for a while.
Yeah. David, go ahead.
Yeah, my Instagram is going to be David__Graves, Graves. Here's the thing: if you find Aaron, you're going to find me.
Yeah, there you go.
We do a lot of co-op marketing stuff together. A lot of social media stuff. So it's hard to find one of us without finding the other.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I do want to talk about that. Maybe we got to get you lined up for another interview because we didn't talk about Instagram. And it's again, like I think I mentioned in the beginning, it's how we even started the conversation. I just friended you on Facebook, which I think you got too many and I got too many. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
But with that said, man,
you saw me plagiarizing all your stuff. Anthony's posting all this good stuff, and I'm just resharing it.
Hey, that's what it's about, man. Again, like we have no other conversation, but that's how I built some really big Instagram accounts, by sharing other people's great content. And that's what I think one thing we're going to get eXp to do is really work hard on their Instagram soon. So
yeah, you know what I tell any of the eXp agents around? They don't even have to be on my team. You know, with the MLS rules and whatnot, they're always so weird about sharing, listings that aren't yours or anything else. I tell every eXp agent, if you see one of my listings, you share it as if it's your own.
Yep.
I don't care.
I don't care either.
My job is to sell the house for my client. Man, if you want to make it look like it's your listing, what do I care?
Man, that is such a different mindset that we have here. Because I tell you, man, my last company, I used to push the boundaries. I've been in marketing. The podcast with Rita Parker from New York City, I just launched it today. Y'all go listen to it. We talk about that. I got into marketing because I was in real estate. All these things, these websites and these approaches I take via social media now are strictly because of real estate. And then back then, man, I used to be in the Louisiana Real Estate Commission's office almost daily, weekly. And my broker finally said, guys, what do you have against this guy? What? And they're like, man, it's not that we don't have anything against him. He's doing things we've never seen. We don't even know how to act, Yeah. eXp World, same thing, man. I tell you, when people start seeing this, they're going to be like, whoa, what the hell? It's the way things change and the way we grow. And, man, we're evolving at a crazy fast pace in this company, man. And I'm really happy to be in business with all y'all. And dude, it's going to be interesting to see where we're at in 2025, man. Where we're going to be at.
I would say too, for anybody out there that's not eXp that does want to get into the cloud, you can message Anthony. He can give you a guest pass for a week. Absolutely. You guys can walk around. You can talk to people. You can try to pick it apart yourself. That's what we did.
Yep.
And we couldn't.
Exactly. Cool deal. All right, guys. Look, it was a pleasure. Good talking to you.
Anthony. Good meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been great.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.